Hey Team Worldwide, welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Give us the love, get in the comments, tell us about what you think about our content. Today we are at TPI here in Oceanside, California. I'm with Lucas Bro. He is the supervisor club fitting analyst here for Titleist. And today we're gonna do a Titleist fitting with the brand new T-Series irons. Let's get into it. First things first, can you give us a high-level view of the four models that we're going to run through today?
Absolutely. So over the years, our fitting philosophy has always surrounded mixing the setup. And what that means is you maybe play a 7-iron in a T100, but you're going to play a 4-iron in a T250 or a T350. And this really started on tour when players were looking for more height and more green stopping power in their long irons. And so how that affects consumers are, we have 4 distinct models, 5 if you include our T250 launch spec, where we're moving from the most amount of loft in the smallest chassis size, and we're progressively getting larger as the player needs more ball speed. And so what this does visually with all the new aesthetics that are here is these clubs now blend almost seamlessly in the bag. So if you decide to split your set at a 6-iron or a 5-iron, there should be no issues with how you're looking down at the club and seeing something different. All the performance of the tools are specifically engineered to help a specific type of player and a type of delivery method to get the ball up in the air, maximize their peak height, and maximize their green stopping power.
One, die-hard Titleist fans who want to know all about these brand new products. There's going to be a bunch of you out there. And 2, somebody who's interested in club fittings, because today that's what it's all about. Yep. Lucas's expertise guiding me through club fitting the new T-Series product. Let's start somewhere. Where do we start?
We're going to start at the 7-iron because that's where we have all of our sure fit components, and we'll dial that in and we'll work our way up the bag.
I'm looking forward to it, buddy. Guide me.
You got it. Okay, so we're going to start T100 with the specs that you currently play. We're going to start in the smallest head. We're going to work our way up to the 350, and then we'll hit T250 launch spec last.
Perfect. Awesome.
So let's just get 1 or 2 good strikes. We don't have a ton, and we'll compare all the numbers.
Yeah.
When you're playing golf, what's your typical 7-iron distance?
In Arizona.
Yep.
Bearing in mind, so probably about 182 carry, something like that.
Here, 170, 175?
Yeah, 175, I think,
Okay.
something like that. I like to draw it predominantly, but I think I'm better fading it.
Got it.
That's a normal miss for me.
Yeah.
I'll leave it out there, that high right. Oh, man.
One more, and then let's change clubs. This is good.
It is?
You've said a couple things already.
Okay, good.
That lead me down a path.
Do you know, just before we get into this, like, I haven't been fit, just for some precedence here, for probably 10 years because I've been doing this myself. So this is really a time for me to kind of get back into your shoes, what you're going to experience, and have those same feelings that you're going to have in a fitting bay. It may not be in like an awesome facility like TPI here, but there's fitting experiences at all different levels, even down to the retail level at worldwide golf shops. We've got some cool content coming with Evan getting fit inside a retail environment. So hang around the channel and wait for that one. It's going to be awesome stuff.
Okay, I'll take that from you. That was a good shot, yeah?
Okay, yeah, everything was a little toey, but that's my normal miss too. If you could take the toe shot away, whew, that's worth some gold.
You've said 3 things today that, again, I want to test, but let's hit all the shots first,
yep.
Or all the clubs first. So I'm going to have you hit everything in the exact same setting that you walked in with. So nothing is going to change.
Yep.
Everything is 1 degree weak. Everything is 2 degrees flat. You're 0.75 inches over length.
Yep.
And so we're just going to try this setup first, compare all the clubs together, and then let's dive in just a little bit.
Okay, so T150.
T150.
A little different look. I can see a little more offset here maybe. I feel like that was a similar strike, but I definitely got a better result. And I will say already, and I know this might be most people, but I played 150s, 2023 versions,
yeah.
Gen 3 or whatever it is, and I think that sounded better straight off the bat.
I would agree.
You know, I don't get nervous very often, but Lucas has got me. I guess this is what everyone gets when they get in the fitting bay.
This orange box does some funny things for people, right?
You're really thinking about it, and I'm like, God, I'm thinking about golf swing. I just need to hit it.
So one thing to remind you when you coming to a fitting out here is, Bob Vokey will always say this. He'll say, I've worked with the bestest and I've worked with the worstest. And point being is, there's a lot of really great golfers that come out here. They're a lot better than you. And there are a lot of players who are worse than you. All I care about is, what is the ball doing? What does the ball need to do better?
Yeah.
So for me, one, you're not going to impress me with your perfect shots, but you're a scratch golfer. We're going to have a lot of fun today. Good swing. Let's change heads. That's good?
Yeah, it's nice and high still. Like that one with the toe is obviously the one that kills a bunch of distance, kills the spin, or kills my ability to hit the green still, you know.
I'm going to use that against you too.
Yeah. I hate the toe. The toe, I think for a good golfer is like, that's the one they're afraid of. It just kills the most power and control.
You've expressed maybe 3 or 4 things now that are big misses or things that you experience on the golf course, and I need to tie it back to that golf club and what we can improve to help those things.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get there yet. I know I'm teasing it.
Just get there. No, get there.
We got 3 more to go.
T250. Looks good. That was interesting. Different feel. Visuals not bad at all. It doesn't look too dissimilar from the 150, I don't think.
No, and that's the goal. And again, that's with blending sets in mind. All right, I'll take that one back.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot higher. I can hear it spinning up
Yep.
on me.
Okay, 350.
I like what they've done this year with the T-Series. That 250, I mean, just obviously looking from like the back here, just it looks like a good golf club. It looks like a blade with all that hidden tech in it, you know. That was actually my best strike of the day.
I'd agree. I bet you're a better long iron player than you are a short iron player.
Yeah, I think for the most part. Even I like, you know, barring like 40, 50 yard wedges, I think when it gets to 120 and through 180, yeah, lots of
Spinny.
Yeah, in recent years, more spin.
Rips back.
Problems with ripping it back way too much, which is rare, I know, in the golf world, but it happens. I grew up in really, really windy conditions, so like it was always my bugaboo. I want to get it down, get it down, get it down. Australia was windy on the coast. Here today we're into the wind, so this is like my nemesis.
I got you. Okay, that's all I need there. Let's hit the launch spec, and then let's get into it. So launch spec is kind of aside from the other 4. Right. It doesn't work with the other 4 quite as well just because it's such a different spec. There are 3 things that are very unique about it relative to the others. 1, the standard loft, 47-degree pitching wedge.
Old school.
So same as MB-CB lineup. 2, it's 6 grams lighter than the rest of the clubs in the set. And 3, it wants to launch and spin the ball up in the air. So we have a ton of junior players, elite junior players, who kind of for better or for worse are starting to develop negative technique because they're trying to lift the ball in the air. With Dr. Greg Rose on site, we see a lot of elite juniors who are coming to the table with potentially early onset of back injuries and things, neck injuries. And they're doing that by having poor technique.
Yep.
So we're trying to teach, cover the ball, let the launch happen, but we don't have a tool to help those players get there. And so this club really is to help players who can't launch and spin the ball enough to get the peak height they need to stop it, just a better setup for what they need.
For our clientele, you know, cool clubs as well as, you know, worldwide golf, you know, lots of people buying clubs, they don't really think about loft, but from a fitter, this excited me because I was like, man, I can finally give someone a 7-iron with the tech.
Correct.
And loft, which is rare these days.
Yes. What you're trying to achieve in fitting is, for me, I need 13 individual golf clubs that all fill a specific role in your bag, 14 being your putter.
Yep.
And so with all these different options, I feel like I can capture a majority of players now. Now, this club is not going to be for you.
Nope.
You are not height or spin deficient, so this is going to look like it's just straight up in the air, but it'll be fun for you to hit.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. What was so with the 7-iron loft and it's 35?
Correct.
Yep.
It did what it was supposed to do.
When you got to lift your chin to see the ball flight, you know, it's up there.
So just for reference, you were launching the ball anywhere between 16 and 17 and a half degrees. That was almost 20.
Right. That makes sense.
But only 7,700 RPM to spin, which is a lot for your 7-iron, but for some, just to get them out of the 5s, having that much loft is something we need to be able to offer them.
In the fitting bay, I see people, I bet there's people out there watching this right now, that are in the 4s with the 7
Yes.
iron, you know, and this is going to change their world.
Yes. Spin is your friend.
Yep,
Spin is the reason airplanes stay in the air. Lift and drag, right?
that's right.
Okay, that's all we need with that one. Good swings.
It's a good looking club as well, you know. A lot of people that need that launch, they kind of find themselves in big, chunky bodies, and this thing's a real tidy package. For
We
that.
did a huge case study, and we were debating whether to build it on the 350 or the 250 chassis. And so we took a huge study, and overwhelmingly the players preferred the 250 model. So that's what we decided to move forward with.
Makes sense.
Okay, let's have a little fun with the numbers. Let's go back to your original stuff. So I try to, in fitting, not look so deep into handicap. And the reason I don't look into handicap is because you could be a 10 handicap with tour level speed.
Yep.
I look at what ball speed do you need to fit into in terms of the size of the head and how much support you need from the golf club. You have 92 miles an hour of club head speed. You are PGA Tour average, maybe just slightly below. There's a very high likelihood that your golf clubs and your setup is going to look like a PGA Tour player. How we get there in terms of set composition will be dependent on what we need and what your ball flight needs are. Step number one in the fitting. I need you to hit the center of the face as many times as easily as possible. What is easier to hit, a 3 iron or an 8 iron?
8 iron, just shorter length, gets me over it more.
What are your clubs?
Half an inch long. Well, 3/4 inch long on Titleist standard.
Okay. So you effectively have a 5 iron in your hand,
Right.
and you've bent it 2 degrees flat. What else have you done by making it flat?
Longer is
You've made it
effectively.
longer.
Yep.
So a lot of people don't know that you can measure length multiple ways. Now, what are your misses? Toe heavy, kind of skinny toe divot sometimes.
Yep.
The third one is you finally dump it and you catch the ground. It's not a chunk, it's an early release.
Yep.
There's a difference. And you're too high and you're too spinny. If I gave you a golf club, let's say that was 3 inches short, do you think you'd be able to hit it high? It'd be harder, right? Because you'd be covering it to hit it.
All right, you've just chest over it, yeah.
So in fitting, if I want to make the ball flight come down, I shorten the club. If I want to make the ball flight go up, I lengthen the club. I give you more leverage.
Yep. I think my smash factor comes from me applying loft through the strike a little bit, you know.
Do you think that that's a bad smash factor?
I think that would be what I would be considering. Like, I've added loft, or I've potentially struck it a little out the toe. I'd like to see myself like 137. Kind of makes sense to me when I test my numbers.
My fear is if I get you to 1.42, we're just using the 250, which is
Right.
not the correct club for you.
Yeah.
What a lot of people don't realize is I can only get you to 1.5. And so smash factor is another way to describe that your ball speed is getting too close to your driver. And so one of the big mistakes that I see is you can have a 7 iron in your bag that travels 184 yards here, coastal, at 121 feet of peak height, which is tour, at 52 degrees of land, which is tour. But I start to stress your wedges, which is the area that you aren't as confident in.
My experience with high smash factors in irons too is like a lack of control. Like,
Correct.
the greater that number, the smash factor number is, the faster the ball's springing off the face, and I feel like I'm less in tune with where it's going to end up.
I would agree. I try to, you can use any metric that you really want to when you're fitting to decide how you want to start piecing together your set. I'm always thinking about this as a full bag. Every decision I make in the 7 iron is going to directly affect how well I can do my job in 20 minutes.
Me too. Push it the one way, and go too far, and then drag it back a little bit. So right now we've gone back to T100, and we've got a standard flat A1 setting with this new short fit system, Modus 120X, which is what I play. And I'm assuming that we've gone shorter because we've had this discussion.
We have changed the length of the golf club, and I'm not trying to tell you what it is, so don't look.
I mean, I can feel it shorter, and every golfer can. And the funny thing about length, I guess, is that in a set of irons, it's transitional anyway, right? So my whole thing when someone says, I can't play shorter, I can't play longer, I'm like, well, what do you do when you get to your pitching wedge? What do you do when you get to your 4 iron? Like,
Yes.
You have that experience in your bag anyway. So it's just making it more natural with the midpoint.
I want to take away those big miss hits And I want to bring your grouping closer together because that's what will make you play better golf. I think that the length is affecting your ability to flight the golf ball because it's affecting your technique negatively.
Right, so you're basically saying, for everyone, wherever we're looking here, is as this gets longer, it kind of creates this motion, shallows me
And we
inside.
stand up.
Naturally, you just back up out of it as a player, not wanting to hit the ground too early. And then you get thins. I get the handle raising, the toe going in the ground, the toe hitting the ball. So basically the shorter length's going to help me keep my posture over it, stay in the shot, produce the loft I should with a 7-iron, and have ball first contact.
And I would say how that presents itself in TrackMan is it's typically a left swing direction with a more square or open face. So you're swinging the club left and you're standing up and lifting out of the shot.
That's what you're seeing with the longer club, is as I'm backing up.
Or anytime that you see a player
yeah,
losing posture.
Okay.
It'll be less prevalent with you because you're good. The higher the handicap, the more exaggerated the numbers are.
Yeah, okay.
I say good relative.
Exactly right.
What's the first thing you notice about those two golf shots?
I got more bat on the ball, right? Yeah, you know, I just feel like it was easier to get the club back to impact.
So you've swung every 7-iron today about 92, 93 miles an hour. That was in the longer club.
Yep.
That was 92.
Yep.
So there's no leverage or mechanical advantage for you to play a longer golf club in terms of speed, collision, ball flight.
Yep.
You can create very, very good ball flight with something like that.
Yeah, and I think actually that's another point for the viewer here. We're talking about irons today, new T-Series obviously, but Lucas's point goes straight back to a driver. You don't need to play a really long driver to make the same swing speed and energy transfer
Correct.
as you do. Like this is huge for club fitting. Is getting that length right. Center contact is king.
Exactly.
Way over just club speed raw. That was one of my better contacts for today.
I would agree. I joke around. My quote out here, the guys give me a lot of crap for it because I say it all the time. If you and I got to go play Torrey Pine South tomorrow for $25 million a piece, tax-free if we win, which 7-iron do I need you to play?
Yeah.
So I win $25 million.
Right.
Right? Again, the goal here is how do I get you to hit the center of the face as many times as possible, as easy as possible? Flat line ball speeds, go flat line distances. So that one was a little bit of a pull, so you're going to see that peek out a little bit further.
Yep.
But your carry distance is still great. 105 feet is extremely good.
Yep.
50 degrees of landing angle is extremely good. So let's go back to 1 degree weak, which is old T100 spec.
The caveat for me, and maybe not the you out there, is that I have really no care about distance, you know, and that's sort of like a privilege of having club head speed, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's like I really don't care how far I hit it. But I know golfers out there like completely, you know, focused on distance. And I think this iron line is really breaking that paradigm of what's been going on. And it's really saying that distance is a portion of this bigger picture, but it's actually a much smaller portion than the peak height you were just talking about, the RPM.
Typically the people who are seeking distance in their irons have handicaps that have 2 digits.
Yep.
Good players, scratch golfers, are only pulling the club that gets the job done on the golf course.
And I actually, the net effects of what you've done here, I like as well. I like seeing clubs with less offset traditionally.
There you go.
I like a little more bounce because of that early release. I kind of jag it in the ground and I kind of feel like that helps me.
And that is the reason why we went 1 degree stronger, is because from our LPGA group, they wanted to see that 1 degree stronger golf club in a smaller package. With the PGA Tour guys, they wanted that 1 more degree of bounce, and they wanted to get rid of some of that offset. So that's very much in line with why we chose to start it 1 degree stronger versus the old standard.
Like it. Perfect.
Do you notice that the strike is feeling just a tiny bit different?
It is better. It's definitely less toe side, and I'm seeing it feel visually come out of a lower window.
Good.
I guess that's counterintuitive to adding loft, but like you say, it's more about how I'm delivering the club versus what's written on it.
And so if you're trying to make your 7-iron a 6, so for example, if we go into a T250, that's a stronger golf club. And then if I then make it, 3/4 of an inch long, I'm really comparing a 7-iron to a 6-iron in kind of a roundabout way because you have more leverage and you have a stronger lofted club.
Yep.
So the thing that I really like is all 6 of these shots were the same head with a shorter length. These last 3 were 1 degree weak, so playing to your normal specs. What I don't love about these ones over to the left is I felt like they got a little too low spin and they got a little hot.
Yep.
And what that means for you with a lot of speed is your distance won't be as consistent on the north and south end. I'm in charge of north and south, you're in charge of east and west.
Right, and that's how I feel on the golf course, all right? If I missed left or right, that was on me. If I missed long or short, I've done something really bad.
Or you misjudged the lie.
Yeah.
So it's a small improvement, but plus or minus 1.9, plus or minus 1.7, plus or minus 4, plus or minus 0.1, 316 RPMs different, 142, 2 yards of difference versus 3.5. Now you're at a point where you're nickel and diming everything to where I've got to find a way to get 2 shots better on the golf course as a scratch golfer. If I get 2 shots better on the golf course, that's potentially 2 birdies versus 2 doubles.
Yep.
That's a huge difference in terms of how your handicap turns out. You didn't lose any peak height. If anything, you maintained, if not gained a little bit. Your best shot, you did hit one upwards of 120, but that was the one that kind of squeaked off to the right. But your average is still at 109.
Yep.
So you're a human, you experience the same thing, you adapt to what you see. And so I think you're trying to make your ball fly through that window, and that club's harder to do it.
For sure.
For fun, let's go back to where you came in.
Yep. When we talk about plus and minuses, they were talking about standard deviation, and standard deviation for a golfer is like quite simply consistency, right? If you have a large standard deviation, you have more variability to the shot that you're hitting in every factor that Lucas just talked about. So that's a really key number to look at with your fitter during your fitting experience. Make sure the club that you're hitting is doing the same thing over and over again, so you know that you can trust it to do that on the golf course. And already, I mean, this is probably maybe a little high level for everyone out there, but I can feel it's heavier. Right?
Well, it's
because of the half-inch long or three-quarters of an inch longer. You know, it makes the head feel a lot heavier, and until you dart between these two things, you don't know.
No.
You know, you have to experience this in club fitting.
Yes.
You have to try different things to know what works.
And then you have to fall in love with the ball flight. You have to prove to yourself that you are in fact striking this one better.
Yeah.
And that's why going back and forth is fun. It's a good shot. Notice how much thinner that strike sounded?
Yeah, that was definitely low. Again, this is this.
Yeah. There's that wipe. The nice thing is, I had a thought, and you just kept piling on with all the things that you were saying.
Yep.
That doesn't always happen that way.
No, for sure. I like, everyone's different in the fitting experience, and like this is why this amount of tools is important too,
Yes.
right? Changing the loft and lie on it.
Yeah.
Length. It's like you need all these tools to be able to fit every golfer.
So this is back to the one that you liked the most.
Okay.
This is your spec, basically, but shorter.
So I actually hit that better. I know I've left it out there, but I struck it good. And I can react to that kind of now with this next swing, at least on the range, and square it up.
Really nice.
I mean, that's probably my best shot of the day.
Let me show you. So that was your best ball speed for sure, almost 130 with that loft to club. And so the thing that I like is you don't get the distance to go too much further. You're 174, we'll call it.
Yep.
It's 176. That's this far. And you flushed it and you got 130 miles an hour ball speed. I don't want that one to add 10 yards. That would be bad. This one was the biggest miss hit. And so the difference is plus or minus 3.4 yards. If I remove that big right miss, your plus or minus is 2.3. The most unsung part of this is deviation between peak heights. We are visual creatures. We like to see trajectory. If your peak height is more consistent, you're less likely to affect your golf swing and your feel on the golf course.
Yeah.
And I look at peak height almost exclusively and work my way backwards from there. What peak height you should be, all depends.
Right, speed dependent.
Yes.
And I think that spooks a lot of average golfers. you know, when they go and watch live golf or they see a good player, they're like, oh my God, that's going way up in the air. And for the average golfer, if they could hit it anywhere near that, they'd be doing themselves a favour. So what's next from here? We're happy with this 7 iron. I'm really enjoying the length concept. I think that's a great, you know, insight into club fit and what really about. And where do we go from 7?
So typically in a full bag world, I would have you hit your 7 iron and then I would have you hit your driver. And what we would do is have this space between the two that I would try to fill in. But we're going to play pretend. Typically, players will swing their 7 iron exactly 20 miles an hour slower than their driver. So I know your ball speed of your driver is going to be closer to like, I don't know, 168, 172-ish.
Yep, pretty good.
I need every golf club in your bag from here on out to go 110 feet. If it doesn't go 110 feet, it doesn't go in your bag. And that's because I want you to see what your golf swing produces in your ball flight. We've got, they're right here. It's a little fun. We did some redesigns of our utility clubs. I want you to guess which 2 golf clubs these are in the line. So you've got a U505, you've got a 250, you've got a 250U, you've got a T350. It's not a 150. I'll give you a...
No, I think in my left hand this is the 250 U.
Okay.
And then this is the 505.
Perfect. Turn the U505 around. You got that right.
Okay.
Turn the other one around.
Okay. Massive difference.
So if you notice, the U505 4-iron is much smaller in chassis size. It's actually very similar to the 350 size head.
Yep.
So again, going in line with our fitting methodology, smallest head, most loft for as long as you can. And then as it gets stronger in loft, it's going to start getting bigger, bigger, bigger.
You need to get that center of gravity down. You need to help players get the ball in, shallow this top to bottom out.
And in a 4-iron, that back end's challenging when you're trying to squeeze it a little bit. So let's hit this first. 2 goals. Number 1, I need 15 more miles an hour of ball speed, 5 miles an hour for every club. If I do that, I'm going to get your peak height to top out at 110.
All right.
If it doesn't, I've got to adjust the golf club.
Okay, I'll be surprised if that's not higher than 110 maybe.
118. 211 carry, 140 miles an hour of ball speed. That was great.
Okay.
It's not quite the 15 miles an hour that I would like, but it's darn good.
Yeah, and that was, in all honesty, it was a little toe side.
Great.
So there's probably a couple miles an hour left in it. I think that's probably there for ball speed, but still that height similar to that last shot.
142, that's nearly perfect.
Yep.
That's 14.
And what I like about the 505 here is that kind of that first little activation you did with me, you know, put one down next to each other. And I've looked at it and I've thought, you know, it's chunkier than a T1, right? But it's like noticeably different from that 1-iron style that we saw on the left-hand side. And as a decent player, I really don't like looking down at that chunky stuff because I feel like I'm going to bail out of that too.
Yeah.
So this is a nice blend. Oh, goodness. Well, I got it in the middle, nothing else.
Don't feel like you have to lift it. Feel like it's your 7-iron. Do I think that shaft is perfect for you? No. Do I think that that combination is perfect? No, but I think the head style is interesting.
Yeah.
Because remember, when you go home, that ball's going to come down.
Yep.
It's not going to get higher because of elevation and heat. It's going to be flatter looking at home. So again, the sentiment of this is we're looking to progress our ball speeds faster as we get up in the set.
Yep.
Which is going to make our distances cover the distances we need them to. And most importantly, it's going to match our peak heights more accurately and more consistently, and keeping our landing angle nice and steep so you can stop it on the green.
Perfect. I was, you know, still hitting this at greens.
I would rather see you probably play your steel shaft than something like that. I think a 250U would also be a viable option for you to test. I don't have everything here today. For you to test and to determine whether that's even just a little bit more sleek looking and fits your eye and your turf conditions at home.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of changing flight with head design.
Yes.
And not doing it in an iron especially. I like seeing the iron shaft stay consistent throughout the bag.
I'd agree.
That's what I dedicate irons for, right? And
Yeah.
then doing the ball flight work with the body.
Absolutely. And length has been proven to be one of the biggest things that helps you keep the ball flight where you need it to.
Yep.
Getting back towards a standard set, I think, is positive, because that even longer, I think, is going to get even more wild for you, which is tough.
Awesome.
I like this setup.
So we didn't really go wild with this actual like shaft. This is Modus 120X. Loved it. It's been a staple of mine for a while. I really do like the feel of it. Lie angle stayed flat.
It stayed, I actually put it back to standard.
Okay, all right.
But I made a really extreme change in the length, so I kind of put the car back in alignment, and then if you decide on a degree or two flat, I'm not gonna worry about that too much.
And T100 weakened loft, so we're back to the last generation.
So 34 degrees in the 7-iron, yep.
Yep. And then blending it with something, but it's maybe somewhere like T250U or 505U in the 4-iron, and like I really encourage people to try that. It was just kind of, I say fun, it was all fun, fitting is fun, but this was a really fun experiment to really kind of wake up and say, all right, I don't need to buy a full set, especially not off the rack, go and get fitted, and really dial in this long end of the game, get that peak height, get that confidence in being able to hit a long iron into a green.
Yep.
You've been a legend, mate. Hopefully everyone out here is inspired to go and get fit. Hopefully they can make it and do a fit outside. But we've obviously worldwide golf retail locations are set up for the best fit-ins. Stay tuned for activation with Evan Michael. He's out there doing a fit. Drop the comments if you like what Lucas did with me. If you want to see more fitting content, let us know. Thanks for watching.